and welcome everyone to the Ginette Biro Podcast. I'm Ginette Biro, and thank you again, as always, for joining me to listen into the messages from the higher realms. And again, this week we have a message from the three guides of the light. And as always, they like to share information from the higher realms about how we're doing, where we're going, what's happening on the planet. And this time the message truly is one of positivity. And really, they were bringing in this message of recognition for all that we've accomplished in this year, and also some inspiration of where we're going. And so it was really quite beautiful. And so the title of their message was Release Who You Were and Step Into Who You Are. And I thought, wow, isn't that massive? Because sometimes we're so busy being busy and doing and working and digging and all that we miss to recognize who we've become. And so, first of all, I just wanted to say, before we step into the depths of their message, because part of their message is going to give us something to really focus on, I've had a lot of people ask me about COVID. And I encourage you guys to take a moment, take a deep breath, and to relax your energies about COVID. And the reason why I say that is because, yes, we are in a second wave, but it was expected. Okay? So if we can release some of the energies of the stressing about it and embrace the energies of it's here, we are dealing with it. And I can say we are dealing with it because we each have a choice in how we deal with it every day. And that choice is entirely up to you. So you can choose to be smart and make the right choices and release the stress energy, because carrying the stress energy doesn't help. So if we look at how much we have journeyed through because of COVID, in some ways we have some really massive things to be thankful for, because wrapped into all of that, this 2020 year has given us an ability to absolutely transform. And so in a sense, COVID has provided us this opportunity to transform, to dive over the waterfalls that we've been talking about, to do all of those different things. And it's also given an opportunity to the souls that are wishing to exit. So let's talk about what the guides specifically had to say. So they said, we really are entering a new time and phase on our planet, which they've been talking about. And we've been through some really dramatic changes in 2020. They said now with the 11/11 portal that opened, also the arrival of the new moon in Scorpio on the 15th, that was a very powerful one. They said it's a time of rebirth, new beginnings, new opportunities, and now is a time to release who you were and step into who you are. I love that. That just gives me tingles. They said, take a look back at all the shifts and changes that you've gone through in this past 2020. The person you were when you walked in the door of 2020 is wildly different and more refined than the person who is now approaching the door to step out of 2020. Many of you have been isolated in many ways through the lockdowns of 2020. And this has provided a beautiful entry into getting to know the deeper layers of yourself. And I'm sure all of you can nod your head and be like, true, right? We can't deny that. It's been an opportunity to dive deep. And so these deep transformations and triggers and death and rebirth cycles within yourself have radically changed you. It's important to stop and recognize that so you do not miss the enormity of who you have become. And that's so true. You can't, I remember they said back in September, I think, that no one will get through 2020 unscathed. And it doesn't mean that everyone's being punished in 2020. It just means nobody will get through 2020 without a reflection of some kind. And it's very true. And so they said, we invite you to truly reflect, ponder, write it down. They even showed me to sit and look at a flickering candle. You know, sometimes you can get lost in looking at a fire, right? So if you have a fireplace at home, turn on the fireplace and just let yourself be lost in the flames. And in a sense, it's kind of the imagery of the phoenix rising from the flames. Is like the flames invite you in to see, who are you rising to be? Who are you stepping into? And if you don't have a fireplace, a candle works perfectly fine. Light a candle and look at the candle and just get lost in how it moves and allow it to show you who you are. And they said, go back over the year, recall month by month, day by day, who you were and how you've evolved each day to become the extraordinary person you are today. In this moment, in the moment that you're hearing this, take this moment and think, these winds of change of 2020 have allowed me to have the understandings and perceptions I do today. They said to do this review not to dig and go deeper, but so that we can reflect on who we are and who we have become. They said you can feel worthy of being a fuller version of yourself. You've earned it. If you've been doing a lot of digging and waterfall diving and cleansing and renewing and releasing and all of that, you are so immensely worthy of being your fuller self that you are. So you can feel a sense of purpose in the choices you make every day going forward. So you feel aligned in the choices going forward. So love and become the root of the choices you make every day. This is, they're saying as well, so that you can see the value of the ripples you're making in the world. That is so immensely impactful. I'm going to read it again because these are the bullet points of what we need to grasp in this. They're saying, do this review, not to dig and go deeper, but so you can reflect on who you are and who you've become. So you can feel worthy of being a fuller version of yourself. So you can feel a sense of purpose in the choices you're making every day going forward. So you can feel aligned in the choices going forward. And so love and compassion become the root of the choices you make every day. So that you can see the ripples that you are making in the world. Amazing. They said, to do this, you need to look at the beauty and the growth that has happened inwardly for you. We can see the incredible beauty and growth radiating from you, and we celebrate with you and for you in the changes you have made to evolve your soul. On the energetic level, you have made great strides as humans and the collective. But there is still a long way to go for the greater shifts, which may require greater impacts on your planet. So we have to keep that into consideration. We've reached this point of stepping into who we are, but it doesn't mean that everything just becomes easy now. Now that we've transformed, many of us on the inner aspects, we're ready to step up and step out and be those change makers, be the love and compassion that's guiding the planet forward, right? And guiding the planet through sometimes tough decisions and sometimes beautiful decisions, right? It's just about honoring what we have transformed and become in 2020. And so they also wanted to mention that the energy leading up to the new moon was intense. I don't know if you guys felt it. I know I put a couple posts out, but like the roller coaster of the energies, and they said it was intensely squeezing out the last things that had been missed and needed to surface in recognition. And so for some of you, you might find that squeeze showed you something that may have triggered you before, but you realized it didn't trigger you anymore. Or it showed you something you didn't want to see, but you recognized was actually one of your greatest assets. It was very interesting. And so they said, while it may have felt rocky leading up, it is so you can rest in satisfaction and accomplishment for the efforts of this year. I thought that was pretty cool. So in this moment of reflection and rest, if there are any pieces nagging at you to change and look at, now is the time. You've truly become someone new. For what is to come, you are ready. We leave you with an invitation to quiet the mind, to turn down the volume of the mind and turn up the volume of the heart. Release who you were and step into who you are. The last weeks of 2020 are honoring who you are now and stepping into it. The greatest journey is self. So, I mean, honestly, when they were channeling this to me, it just felt like such a pat on the back, such a reassurance that as a collective, we are, in fact, moving in the right directions. And a lot of people are doing the work and are making the conscious choices to better themselves. And all of that goodness that has been this journey that we've been talking about since the podcast started. So, to me, it felt like such an accomplishment, such a marker of achievement. So I was excited to share that with you guys. So as always, thank you all so much for listening. I'm excited to continue to share what comes forward. And I wish you guys a really good week, a week in which you can feel satisfied with self. That's a good feeling, to wake up peaceful and think, I've been doing a good job. So yeah, go easy on yourselves. Now, that being said, I do also want to let you guys know that I have some exciting stuff coming down the pipe with Avalon Spirit this week and leading into the weekend. So do keep your ears open and your eyes peeled for different posts and stuff coming. We have a great announcement coming on Friday, this Friday. And we also have an exciting start date of something November 22nd. So that's coming very soon too. And I also have other stuff come down the pipe after that. I will give you a hint. One of them is my book. My book is so close to being ready, you guys. I can't wait to share that. So do keep your eyes peeled. And for those of you that are wanting to join in for more open communication about all things spirit, do join the Avalon Spirit group on Facebook. It's a great place to go. You can also find me on Instagram under Ginette Biro Medium. And as well, if you're watching this on YouTube, or even if you're listening on the podcast, subscribe on YouTube, because you'll get a chance to win a free reading. So I definitely would take advantage of that. So anyways, lots of love to all of you. Thank you so much as always for listening, and I wish you guys a wonderful rest of your week.